afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and welcome to Global Atheist News Roundup, dateline 30th of March 2024. This week's headlines. A branch of the Islamic State group has claimed responsibility for the deadly terror attack at the Moscow concert hall last week. In Russia, Muslims and Islamists celebrated on the morning of the Moscow attack, playing loud music from their cars. 4 were injured in a London house fire as police probe an anti-Semitic hate crime. France is to sue a teenager for falsely accusing a school head in a headscarf row. Anti-Jewish genocidal chanting happened at a British university. The Nigerian pupils taken in the mass abduction recently are freed, some of them. A Donald Trump God Bless the USA Bible was launched. Christians erect a $240,000 cross in Mississippi again. Ministers aid seafarers caught in the Baltimore bridge crisis. Baroness Deech, the chair of the House of Lords Appointment Commission, said that the current number of bishops in the House is excessive. More detail has become available on the deadly terror attack at a Moscow concert hall last week. A branch of the Islamic State group, which once controlled vast swathes of Iraq and Syria, has claimed responsibility. At least 133 people were killed and over 145 injured when as many as 5 gunmen armed with automatic weapons entered the Crocus City Hall and opened fire on concert-goers who were there to see the popular Soviet-era rock band Picnic. Hours after the attack, the Islamic State Khorasan province, known as ISKP or ISIS-K, the Afghan affiliate of ISIS, claimed responsibility for the attack through the group's Amaq news agency. Khorasan is the historical name for the region between Central and West Asia, including Afghanistan, Turkmenistan, and parts of northeastern Iran. The Russian authorities rounded up Muslims who were celebrating the Moscow attack the following day by playing loud music from their cars. See this video. This video has no sound. A London house was burned in what police say may have been an anti-Semitic hate crime. See this video.
This is all that's left of a house in East London after what police say might have been an anti-Semitic hate crime. They think the fire in the middle of a big Jewish community was deliberate, and officers say a man who was arrested made comments to them that means they're now looking at the motive behind it. The smell of burning still fills the air here while forensic teams investigate. 4 people were taken to hospital with injuries.
France's Prime Minister says a teenage girl will be sued by the state for falsely accusing her head teacher of striking her in a heated exchange over her wearing an Islamic head covering. The head teacher insisted that the pupil remove her head covering inside the school in accordance with French law. He resigned after death threats circulated on social media. The Islamist threat to French schools is taken extremely seriously since the murder of 2 teachers in 2020. Samuel Paty was decapitated on the street in a Paris suburb, and Dominique Bernard was killed at his school in Arras. In the incident, which took place on the 28th of February, the head told 3 female pupils they should obey the law by removing their head coverings. 2 complied, but the 3rd did not, and there was an altercation. In the days that followed, the head was the subject of death threats on social media, which were signalled by the school to an Interior Ministry hotline. Prosecutors said 2 people had been detained in connection with the death threats. Their identities have not been revealed, but the Education Ministry said they had no link with the school. Police were sent to patrol around the school, which also received a visit from Education Minister Nicole Belloubet. The Paris school head teacher, whose name has not been made public, announced his decision to resign in an email sent on Friday to colleagues at the Maurice Ravel Lycée in the 20th district of Paris. "I have finally taken the decision to quit my functions," he explained, "out of concern for my own safety and that of the establishment. I leave after 7 years, rich and intense, spent at your side, and after 45 years in public education," he wrote, thanking his colleagues for the support they had shown him over the past 3 weeks. Officers found no evidence that the head teacher had struck the girl, and now Prime Minister Gabriel Attal has stepped in to say she is to be taken to court for making false allegations. The state will always stand with these officials, those who are on the front line, faced with the breaches of secularism, these attempts of Islamist entryism into our educational establishments, he said. Footage was taken at lunchtime last Friday at the refectory of Goldsmiths University, which is midway through an inquiry into anti-Semitism on its campus. This is anti-Jewish genocidal chanting at a British university. See this video. The Nigerian pupils taken by gunmen in a mass abduction in the northwestern town of Kuriga earlier this month have been freed unharmed, officials say. Kaduna State Governor Uba Sani said they had been rescued thanks to the courage of the security forces. The school authorities had said that more than 280 children were taken, but the army said 137 hostages had been freed. It said the operation took place in the early hours of Sunday morning, days before a ransom deadline. Officials have not yet commented on the discrepancy in numbers. In previous cases, hostages have been able to flee from their captors as they trekked for days to forest hideouts. A top government official, who asked not to be named, has told BBC Hausa that one of the teachers, taken from Kuriga, died in captivity. The group was held for 17 days. Kidnap gangs known as bandits have seized thousands of people in recent years, especially in the northwest. 6 mass abductions this month have rocked parts of northern Nigeria, despite an overall fall in the number of such attacks over the past year. Aberdeen, Mississippi is now home to a giant Christian cross. It's the 14th such cross to be erected in the state, according to the group behind this one, Cross of Christ, Monroe County, and it cost $240,000. Buzzy and Janice Cullum donated an acre of land for the project. This is not for Aberdeen, this is not for Monroe County, this is for everybody who travels this highway back and forth. They're going to see this cross and talk about it and say, I went through Aberdeen, Mississippi, and there's a 120-foot cross standing. Mike Rosier of Rosier Construction said the cross is the 14th in Mississippi and the 20th the company has installed overall. Baroness Deech, discussing membership of the House of Lords in Parliament, said that 26 bishops of the Church of England is too high a number in the House. Currently, unlike most other members of the House of Lords, bishops do not need to undergo a propriety test when entering the Lords. This is because 26 seats are automatically reserved for bishops of the Church of England. This is one of many special privileges that bishops receive over other lords. Last year, the all-party parliamentary humanist group, for which Humanists UK is the secretariat, organised a debate in Parliament to discuss why 26 Church of England bishops are allowed to vote in the House of Lords. So far, nobody has given a good reason to keep this unfair system going. In fact, the vast majority of the British public support their total removal from the Lords. The only other sovereign state to have reserved seats in their legislature for members of the state religion is Iran. With the collapse on Tuesday of the Francis Scott Key Bridge, the mission of 2 ministries has shifted to long-term aid for the crews of the Dali ship that struck the bridge and 7 other vessels that are stuck in the port for the foreseeable future. The leader of one of these ministries, the Reverend Joshua Messick, said he will be advocating for the rights of those crew members, including that they have adequate provisions and that their shore leave is not restricted. My primary focus will be on caring for these seafarers who cannot continue their journeys, says Messick, an Episcopal priest and executive director of Baltimore International Seafarers Center. Just making sure they have everything that they are supposed to have and everything that they need to make their extended stay here as pleasant as possible. Andy Middleton, a lay Catholic ecumenical minister who directs the other ministry, the Archdiocese of Baltimore's Apostleship of the Sea, has been communicating via WhatsApp with a couple of the crew members on the Dali, who remained on the ship, still entangled with bridge debris. I've been reaching out to them periodically since Tuesday morning, just to check in and make sure everybody's still doing okay, reminding them that we're here for them and that we're praying for them, he said, and making sure that they know that when they eventually get clear of the incident and come back to a berth, that we'll still be here, waiting for them and wanting to help them. Donald Trump took to his social media platform, Truth Social, to announce that he is delivering a Bible called Donald Trump, God Bless the USA Bible. Following this news, Tercia and I are going to chat with guest Melanie Tresek King, in Free Thought Hour. Melanie is an educator who is keen to spread critical thinking. This has been Global Atheist News. Please like, subscribe and share. Thank you for watching.